Before we write any real Python, we need a development environment to write it in. To a beginner, setting up a development environment can be a real hurdle. There are lots of options, lots of opinions, and it's easy to get lost in the weeds before you've written a single line of code. I've seen students spend an entire afternoon on this and give up before they even get started. For this series, I'm going to recommend one setup, tell you why, and get you running as fast as possible. By the end of this video, you'll have Python installed, you'll know your way around the environment we'll use for the rest of the series, and you'll know how to download my notebooks from GitHub so that you can follow along with every episode. Let's do it. There's no single right way to set up Python. If you ask 10 programmers, you'll get 11 different answers, and half of them won't be what you need. So let me just show you the main options and tell you what I recommend for this particular series. The first option, which we see here, is Anaconda with Jupyter. Anaconda is a Python distribution. Jupyter provides web-based tools for interactive computing. So what do I mean by that? A Jupyter notebook, for example, is a combination of text and live code that displays in your web browser. This combination of text and code makes it a perfect vehicle for teaching and learning Python. I'll make lectures with notes and live code that you can download and play with on your own. A second option is VS Code with Python extension. VS Code is a full code editor, better suited for writing scripts and for larger projects. This is the kind of development environment you'd likely use for professional work. If you continue your Python journey until you are professional, you likely will be using VS Code or something similar to it. It's more geared towards software development than with presentation, like Jupyter Notebooks are. A third option is Spider. Spider is another development environment that comes bundled with Anaconda. In some ways, it has a similar look and feel to a VS Code environment. However, it is geared specifically for data science and scientific programming. For this series, we'll use the Anaconda distribution in Jupyter. To install Anaconda, go to anaconda.com and make a free account. Go to the downloads page, shown here, and click the download button. You have your choice of operating system. So you have Windows or Mac or Linux. I have a Mac, so I'm going to choose that. There are two distributions here. One is Anaconda, which has many packages in it that are useful for lots of things, including data science, which is my background. And you do not have to install those libraries manually. Miniconda is a lightweight installer. It has just the bare bones in it, and then you have to install the library on your own as you need it. So if you have space on your computer, which is most folks, unless you're in a very bare bones system, then you probably want the Anaconda distribution. So the Anaconda distribution, just click, save it somewhere. I did this earlier, so I'm replacing. Wait a second for it to download. There we go. Once it's downloaded, you have the package, so you can click that, allow, and then just click through the buttons. So continue the license, agree. Destination, you probably want to install for all users of this computer. That's standard. If you want it in a specific place, you can. Installation type, leave that. Install, preparing for installation. Here I would type in my password, install software, and it will install. I've already done this, so I'm not going to do it again. One item worth pausing on: if you're on Windows, the installer will ask you whether you want to add Anaconda to your system path. I recommend you leave that unchecked unless you know what it means, you know what you're doing, and you have a reason to change it. Just take the default. Once you have it downloaded, open Anaconda Navigator. If you go to your applications on a Mac, it will be Anaconda Navigator app. Open that. You see lots of applications listed. The ones we're interested in for this series is the Jupyter Lab. There's an older Jupyter notebook that would work. Jupyter Lab is an updated, enhanced version of Jupyter Notebook, so why not use the latest, greatest? So we launched that. I click launch. Jupyter opens in your browser. Don't let that throw you. It's not a website. It is running locally on your machine, and it's using the browser as an interface for you to interact with it. I do not need the Anaconda Assistant, so I'm going to get rid of that. What we're looking at over here is a file browser. I have, I'll just show you. So here's all the folders. Here I go to projects. I have this under website, Mathy Python videos this year, beginning. Here are my various episodes. So you navigate to wherever you keep your notebooks on your system. And let's say I want to create a new notebook. So I'm going to do this within the episode 2 installation folder. Again, put this wherever you want. There'll be some options under notebook. This will vary depending on your machine. I have created a couple of Python environments. Don't worry about that right now. It should give you some sort of options. So pick one. Okay. And here you have a notebook. And so here I can type in code, hello world, press shift enter, and it runs it and gives you a new line. If I want to rename this, I can right click on it, rename. This is demo, let's call it. I can also make text. So notice this little drop down says code. I can change that to markdown. And there are various formatting options you can use with Markdown. One is to put a single hashtag, which in this context means a heading, first level heading. I could say demo notebook. Okay. Maybe I want that at the top, so I clicked on the cell, then I pressed the up arrow. There you go. Some more code. Print. This is how print. This is the episode where we install Jupyter. And there it is. You're running Python. You can find many of these on the internet, these Markdown cheat sheets. So I just Googled a Markdown cheat sheet and found one. This will show you some of the formatting that you can do in Markdown. So first level heading, second level, third level, bold text, italicized, and so forth. So you can read through this. I'll put a link in the description so that you can see Markdown. As we go along the series, I'll use some Markdown, so you'll see me using all this. Every episode in this series has a Jupyter notebook you can download and run yourself. Here's how you get to it. So this is a GitHub page. GitHub is where you can store your code to be used by other people. It allows you to have multiple people working on a single project if that's what you're doing. I won't get too deeply into GitHub. That's a topic in and of itself. At any rate, you can go to this link. Again, I'll put that in the description. Go to the big green code button. Let's download a zip. I'm going to put this on my desktop. Open up the folder. Double click that on a Mac. And it will unzip it. Okay, and here you can see the stuff that I just downloaded from the GitHub page, and now I have a local copy of it. Now, it's tempting to go to wherever you want. Let's say I wanted this episode 1 code. It's tempting to double click that. If you do it, you won't get what you want. So to open this up within Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook, you have to open it up from within the web browser. If you double click on it, it will either open up in the web page as JSON, which is not what you need, or if some program on your machine will grab it, which is not what you need either. So if I want to open it up in Jupyter Lab, I go to Jupyter Lab, and I can use this navigation, file navigation to open it up. Double click on it. There it is. Okay. So here are the commands that I used in episode 1. If I wanted to rerun this, then I could go to kernel. Kernel is just the engine that's running this behind the scenes. So if I restart the kernel and clear outputs of all cells, that essentially resets everything. Do I really want to do that? Yes. And now you can see. So if I wanted to rerun this, click in the first cell, shift enter, and I can keep doing that. I could also run all cells. Sometimes you want to restart a notebook for some reason and rerun it. So I can restart kernel and run all cells. Restart kernel will get rid of all the values of variables and such. So it restarts everything. The star or the asterisk means that it was running, and it runs until it hits an error. In this case, I was demonstrating an error, so I got an error on purpose. If I want to run them one at a time, I can shift enter. I can add cells now. So if I plus, that adds a cell. So this is another top level header. Oops. Not as a code, but as a markdown. Now I get that. I can create. This is a second level header. Okay, and so forth. Yeah. At this point, you're set up. I would recommend downloading Anaconda Jupyter or downloading Anaconda, running Jupyter. Just play with it, run some code, do some print statements, some arithmetic, maybe an if statement. Just play with it to get used to it. Use different kinds of markdown. Yeah, just spend 20-30 minutes playing with it, and that will set you up well for the rest of the series. So you're set up. Next episode, we will get into actual Python. We'll talk about variables, what they are, how Python thinks about them, and get into some of the nuances of storing variables in Python. So I will see you in the next one. Happy programming.